with Monday being that President's Day off day, really just kind of traded into the Stibby from Thursday's news, which was GDP, I believe, and kind of sold off. So Friday's plan did not work out at all, not even a little bit, which in all reality is fine. But because I was even telling people in my Discord, I was saying if you're gonna limit this, if you lose 3,390, you're going for that low, which in this case was 397, whatever it was, and then subsequently 3,963 if you really want to have a second target. So while I did have that limit sitting overnight, because really what it was is an Apex challenge, and I passed it last week, in like 3 or 4 days. So this was like the funded version, and I had that limit set there. So I woke up, it was like before 8:30, and I was like, 10 points of drawdown, we'll say around 3,989. But like I was saying, if this ends up losing this last area of inefficiency, it's just gonna tank. And I failed to execute on that. I had it in Discord, what the plan was, saying, you'll lose that low if this area doesn't hold, but I did not actually trade that. I just had the limit, and I ended up holding it through all this drawdown of the actual news, and I lost the account. And that was it. I tried to make it back, but the drawdown was just super duper heavy, and it was way too much to even try to bother recovering, so I kind of just said screw it. I just tried to save it, but I ended up just going out anyways because we didn't get any kind of long reversal until 11 a.m. type of deal. So honestly, the biggest lesson for me in losing that and so many others, and listening to ICT's recent spaces about Saturday and anything, I realized I've done a lot of reacting to the market and not always predicting what it is, and having that foresight and everything. Yeah, I definitely have that, but I'm not always using it. I'll just sometimes wake up, turn the charts on, act like a ape, and just click a button, click a button, and have either FOMO or some kind of impulsive move on my end that forces an execution mistake. Because even a lot of the trades that I took this week, most of them ran further than where I got out, and I really would just exit, on a retrace, X, Y, and Z, something like that. So it really did hit home with me listening to him last night, because it really felt like he was talking to me, probably one of the few times in a while, of like, this is what you're doing, and acting this, then the other is why things are happening the way they are. You either don't know your model, which I do believe I do, but when I'm actually watching the chart and everything like that, I just fail to apply that logic, and it doesn't matter even if I do know the model. If I'm not trading that model, well, then your edge is gone, and if your edge is gone, you're now just impulse gambler guy. So I definitely want to get that under control, and I'm just gonna try some demo reads. I can it's one of those things, demo balling, as ICT would say. You can read it totally fine in demo. The moment you go to live, all of a sudden you care about the outcome, you care about X, Y, and Z, what could happen, what couldn't happen, and then it's not even the same. Like, even though the chart, and back your mind it's all the same, you just don't view it that way. And it's that looking glass that he was saying in his Saturday Twitter Spaces really was it was really just hitting me, in all honesty. And I realized that I need to actually step up what I'm doing, stop trying to just learn new things. I did find someone that trades essentially the model I've been trying to work towards, and what I've been like refining and what I like the most, like low risk buys and trying to catch like smart money reversals and things like that in an MMXM. I found that through Kish, so I'm really trying to replicate what he's doing and use a lot of his rule set and everything like that. He was kindful enough to respond to one of my DMs on Twitter, so I definitely know that's like the model and things like that I want to pursue. But because I know that I want to pursue that model, I need to trade only when that model is present. If it's not, just wait. There's no reason to have FOMO, because if your model's not present, well, there's really no reason to be trading. And I realize that I need to make that change, otherwise I will never succeed at this. And I just can't have that happen. I don't want that to happen. I want to actually be the person that says I worked and I learned this and I did it myself. And until I make those changes, I can't say I did. And so I need to make the changes in order to make that happen, say that I can. So definitely a big big lessons on my end instead of just, you know, blowing accounts and everything like that. I just gotta take it one step at a time, keep things slow, as well as make sure that you're just trading the model. You know, truthfully, that's all it was. Or even if I do have the plan, trade the actual plan. Because if I would have had a stop loss at, you know, 390, where I said it would have been, if you lose that, you're going down there. And regardless of even swapping short on that trade, which I'm not going to go say I could have. You technically could have, but that's just hindsight. Even if I just would have had the stop loss 10 points, whatever, you know, there would have been $400 or $500 loss versus letting this thing. I let it run for like 35 points against me on ES, which anyone knows that's like 1600, and by that point the prop test was like basically blown. So, and I really, like I said, I put myself in that situation. There's no other way to put it. I knew what the plan was, failed to trade that plan, and I got punished for it. It's like I was telling them, it's not deeper than that, but it's not any more shallow either. I didn't follow the plan. And I wasn't, yeah, there is the uncertainty of, like, you know, embracing the uncertainty of what anything can happen. But when you fail to even put something like a stop loss to protect yourself, it'll just destroy you. And that's what they're there for, is to protect that loss from being, you know, something super massive. And I just failed to do it. I just got punished for it. There's no way to put it.
So here we go. We should have volume. And we should
going, but I think that's going to be it for me now. As for like a market recap or kind of weekly outlook, we can definitely do that later after I get off work. I just wanted to get this out before and kind of speak what I was thinking about. But if I don't end up doing that as of right now, same type of thing I was telling my friends on Discord. If you're in a model, and for example on MMXM, what I'm really talking about, and you notice that the model finishes, so for example this sell model here, it finishes and then keeps expanding in that same direction, you're in a larger time frame sell model. So on like a 15-minute, that same area, you know, you'll have a sell model from here to here, but then it keeps expanding lower. So you're saying, okay, I'm probably in a larger time frame sell model. So even if you go to like a 1 hour and you take from here to here, or from either here to here, you see that it keeps expanding lower afterwards. So you want to expand and say, okay, well maybe this is like, you know, a 4-hour sell model that you're in the middle of, right? Because if the 15-minute is finished and expanding, you're probably on a larger time frame one. So, and we clearly have that side of the curve shift, you know. But even like on UVXY for Friday's recap, same exact thing. You know, we were expecting the sell model to form on like from here to here, and we didn't get that. We got a reversal here after the gap closed, and it's back on buy side. So if you apply that same logic and you look, okay, if that sell model's failing and it's still going to start expanding high, you're probably in a larger time frame model. So I'm not saying we're coming in from, you know, October level down to here, but we could definitely be on some kind of 4-hour reversal that's going to be a really, really larger market maker buy model that we're in the middle of. But on the 1 hour, again, you're going to get that shift down, but it's just going to, that sell model in the 1 hour will fail, and the buy model on the 4 hour will keep continuing. And that's what you want to look for when you're in the middle of this. So keep seeing if this can hold, because otherwise you need to target UVXY higher, which is going to line up with indexes lower. Because if we're going to all just play the 4-hour model game, you should be running for 3,900, basically, is what you really should be running for. And that means, same thing, UVXY, even though the 1 hour is going to have that side of the curve shift, it's going to fail, and it's going to continue seeking buy side, as you're probably in some larger models. So that's kind of a little, just something I noticed trading MMXM, what I've done. So I definitely will be working on the model a little bit more and really fine tuning it so that way I know exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm not just kind of, you know, randomly jumping into trades. But there's just some food for thought if you are the kind of trader you like to take MMXMs. If you're not, don't worry about it, in all honesty. You know, that was the one thing I've realized with ICT, is he has a lot of stuff. And I mean a lot of stuff. And you can keep it as simple as 2022, or you can go as far as precision trade every, you know, PD ray that he has to offer with all the order blocks. the breakers, the FEGs, you know, trade everything, or you can trade one. And that's really a personal thing. That's not, you can by all means get by one model, trade only that, and you're done forever. But for me, that's not how I want to be. I want to have that precision, everything like that. And I just like MMXMs a lot. So that's definitely what I want to pursue, and you know, going for low risk buys and everything like that. So if you guys have anything else you want to see, be sure to drop it down below, and like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later this week. I will try to keep some updates as well as some recaps if I take something EOD, or at least kind of do like a design or markup of what the chart should have looked like if you saw it in hindsight type of deal for journaling. I really want to be sure that I'm doing that every single day and making sure that the trades I do execute on / tape read are going to be actual proper trades that should be taken, not just, oh, I log on, market's moving, buy it because it's moving up, you know. No more of that. I don't want to be like that anymore, and I don't want to associate myself with those kind of traits either. And so I need to make sure that I make the change